ahead and share my screen. So let's make sure I can do that here. And I think the first thing up before I dive in too far, I'll introduce myself, but would love to just get a better sense of the group. I know you all might know each other already, but hopefully it can be fun for you too. There's a little QR code, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get back to the chat to put in a link for you to fill out. There we go. Just to get a sense of kind of who's joining today. And what your experience has been with Pavilion and cooperative purchasing before. I'll give folks a second to get here. We got a brave first answer from a city and county, or county, excuse me. I live in San Francisco where we have a city and county, but used to work at the city of Kansas City in Missouri, where my procurement team used Pavilion on me, I like to say, when I often was in the position of trying to figure out how to deliver on promises that our mayor had made that had fast turnarounds, and Pavilion was a core part of that. Great. So far, we're seeing a lot of city folks. Anyone from K-12, higher ed, state agencies, anybody, special districts on the line? We've got one hand. Oh, Renee, I think we've emailed before. So we got a higher ed in the house.
Yes. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Great. Samija, are you also from a non-city?
Yes, I'm a non-city. I'm from an airport.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. Keeping it lively. Great. Any surprising things folks have procured? A tactical vehicle. I bet there were a lot of specs that I would not even know to ask for with a tactical vehicle. Anyone else have any other surprising procurements lately?
Tactical vehicles, fire vehicles, for example.
A lot of vehicles.
Concessions coordinator. Then we have airport blast pad, runway shoulder, Alpha Charlie. So a mixed bag of everything. So from procuring a paper clip to procuring the runway to facilitating services and to also facilitate and to just anyway to facilitate services and purchases, and then also engineering services.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll show you can purchase anything of those categories pretty much on Pavilion. We'll show that in a little bit. And then we only have one respondent, so it's making it look like everyone uses Pavilion every day, all the time, which is great if so. But I imagine there's got to be some folks on the line who are less frequent users. Is that right? Or is everybody a Pavilion Pro already? Okay, we got someone pulling us back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much.
Right. Okay. Then we'll show, for those of you that have used it all the time, we'll show you some of our newest stuff. For anyone who's new, we'll also bring you up to speed. And then the hardest question that we'll ask today is, would you rather be able to talk to animals or speak every human language? So far, we've got some worldly communicators in the group. The thing that always pulls me is I'm always wondering what my dog is actually saying. I have lots of ideas. I believe I understand, but I'm not actually sure that's true. Okay, great. This is a group that is hungry for language. Oh, we've got one other animal lover. Well, great. Okay, I'll put you out of the poll misery there. No, thank you all for engaging with that with me. Let me now get back up to my my presentation here. Are you able to see the screen still?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so a little bit about Pavilion. You can really think of us as like a central place for sourcing vendors to get quotes from and to find cooperative contracts to work with them on. We bring all those contracts into one place, make it easy to conduct your due diligence on them, but also help you and your departments get in touch with suppliers directly to confirm pricing and availability to move forward quickly. We are the largest database of its kind with with suppliers on active cooperative contracts that you can find anywhere. It's over 50,000 suppliers across over 100,000 different shareable contracts. We should be hopefully a time saver for all of you. If you ever spend any time today trying to find vendors that can sell what you need, and especially trying to find vendors that have contracts to sell what you need, we are hopefully your new go-to. And we are completely free and available to you today. There's no cost for public agencies to use Pavilion. And your agency can have an unlimited number of accounts. So please get after it, start searching. We have built our business so that we can always stay free for public agencies. And that is an exciting thing for me as someone who used to work in a public agency, especially, and matters a lot to our founder, who also used to work at the city and county of San Francisco, involved with tech procurement. So she's been through it firsthand. We're partnered directly with a variety of organizations. So you might have seen Pavilion or our search bar. If you use OpenGov or Bonfire, if you use the NIGP website. We are also partnered with the GovAI Coalition to bring together AI contracts that are available. As we know, that's an emerging need for many cities and counties. And partnered with the Southern California Procurement Alliance right in your backyards. So there's a lot of great contracts for you all, especially to find on Pavilion. This group may know already, if you're using Pavilion, I'm assuming you've got an inkling about cooperative procurement, but I do always like to just do a quick definitions. I'm going to share a couple quick highlights just to make sure we're all on the same page, because we know this phrase is thrown around a lot. But when I'm saying cooperative procurement, I'm talking about really just the practice of public agencies collaborating on a procurement, especially through the piggybacking. So kind of collaboration on the back end of a solicitation is what we'll talk about a lot. The solicitation's already been run, but it is available for other public agencies to use under those same terms and conditions if it's a fit for your scope of need. Some folks will also talk about joint solicitations, coordinating these shared processes up front. You'll find contracts that have resulted from joint solicitations on Pavilion, especially from kind of group purchasing organizations. Those are all available on Pavilion too. And as you all, again, may know, that a lot of the reasons people look for these cooperative contracts is one, to leverage the work that these other agencies have done, see how they have vetted and scoped work with suppliers, but also to access a wider network of vendors. This is one of kind of our core tenets at Pavilion, is really trying to make it possible for a much wider range of suppliers to participate in the government marketplace by accessing things like sales off of cooperative contracts that previously you kind of had to be an insider to know was a thing you could do. You had to have one of these big national contracts. Now, any supplier who has a contract could potentially access this way of selling to other government agencies, even if it's a local agency contract, so long as the contract allows it. But a lot of reasons why procurement folks love cooperative procurement are for the cost and time savings. You all have so many purchasing needs to keep up with at any one time. We talked about them at the beginning just now. Especially at this time of year for many folks, we know you might be dealing with an influx of new requests. And a typical bidding process can take months of time just to, between when you first hear about the need to when that is delivered. And you can really skip down to the part of just negotiating your individual contract with the vendor you want to work with in days, if not weeks, by using a piggyback purchase, leveraging that work somebody's already done. And ideally, you can also access pricing discounts kind of by leveraging that collective purchasing power of these kind of bigger organizations that might have been able to negotiate a vendor to provide good discounts on the contract. But a lot of times a piggybacking kind of comes in, I mean, by nature, it's like on the back end, but oftentimes it can be an option of like last resort when it's like, oh, we really need to, we found about this need too late to do anything about it. Or, oh, we really need to get a contract in place because all of a sudden we're above the threshold when we didn't expect to be. We really have worked with a lot of agencies who are trying to bring piggybacking more into a strategic lane where it's an early check in the process for really any type of procurement need to make sure that your time is really spent running solicitations when you need them, when it's in your strategic advantage too, but also making sure you're leveraging this work that other folks have done when it's available, when everyone's procuring the same thing already, when those vendors you want to work with are already out there. Checking upfront can be a really valuable way of making sure that you are investing your time where it's most valuable and not reinventing the wheel. Some other things we often hear about that can run into trouble with piggybacking is, well, one, taking the first contract you find, especially if you haven't used Pavilion before or before you used Pavilion, if you had experience trying to find a contract in the first place. It's like, great, a vendor told me about a contract, we'll take it. Or, I know about Omnia's website, I guess I'll go there, we'll take that contract. But different contracts can be more beneficial than others. And being able to compare across, make sure your full scope of work is covered, and then actually get the best, most advantageous terms for you is something that we try to make possible by bringing these contracts all into one place for you. We've also heard a lot of pain around, it's like, great, you found the contract, but then actually getting the vendor to confirm key information about it with you. Make sure you navigate through the vendor's website to find the right point of contact for your region who has knowledge of cooperative procurement can be a real pain. I'll talk to you about how we've kind of built Pavilion to help make that a little bit easier. And then the last piece around missing contract expirations, definitely want to call out. I think this can be sometimes an area of confusion, but it is important for the original contract to be active for the entire duration of your need. If it's an ongoing service or if you're going to purchase things multiple times, you're only able to access those contract terms if the original contract is still active. But sometimes it can be hard to know that a contract expired or was not renewed that you had been using. And so we have built some tools to help you stay on top of that as well. If you find a contract that you want to leverage and you want to make sure you're never missing when it's going to stop being available to use as well. So we'll show you all of this, how you can find all these contracts in one place so you can compare across them more easily, whether it's federal, state, local contracts, K through 12, higher ed, national co-ops, they're all right here. We'll make it easy to answer kind of the key questions that we know you need to in order to confirm a contract can work for you, from confirming the scope matches your needs, that the timeline is active, that piggybacking is allowed on the contract, that it was competitively bid, and that the vendor can serve your location. By default, when you search on Pavilion, all of the contracts we're going to show you will meet these criteria. It will match, there's something in the contract will match what you searched for. The timeline will be active. We'll have received some indication from the lead agency that they allow piggybacking and that it was competitively bid, as well as that the vendor's service area covers your location. So all of these things are what kind of we're doing an initial check for. We always encourage you to do your own due diligence. You'll want to read through the contract documents yourself and confirm this with the supplier. And that's also where we'll help you get in touch. Like I mentioned, no more wading through vendor websites or trying to track down different salespeople's phone numbers. We'll bring the best points of contact directly to you with just a click of a button when you use Pavilion so that you can move forward quickly with any purchase. And if it's been a while, if you're a longtime Pavilion user, you're going to see some updates today from improved navigation. We've redesigned some of the site to make it easier to find what you need and go back to past searches. We've also updated our quoting system. you now have the ability to click a button and our team will connect you with 3 qualified vendors for the thing you're searching for, without you having to even go through the search process. I'll show you that, as well as how you can now get visibility across your organization into what folks are purchasing. I know many of you, I know we talked about this, Andrew, are sharing Pavilion with your department so that they can source vendors more easily that can comply with your purchasing policies. And now this will allow you, whenever you share Pavilion with your colleagues, to keep tabs on who is searching for what, where they are in the process. So even before they submit the formal requisition, you have a little bit of visibility there. And lastly, and this part we won't talk about a ton today with the time, but if anyone is interested in following up after, Pavilion is now available to customize some of our features to your agency's policies. So incorporating your purchasing thresholds, so folks know when they should look for a cooperative contract versus can just get quotes or might need to start a formal solicitation. We can help customize the interface to navigate your departments accordingly. Okay, so if you haven't created an account before, all you need to do is go to withpavilion.com. This QR code will take you there as well, but it's probably just as easy to just type in withpavilion.com to your browser. If you do, this is what you'll see after you log in. All you'll need to do is sign up with your work email address. That'll take you to will confirm that you are from a public agency by matching your email domain to what we have on record for your agency. And that is how we make sure that suppliers know to take very seriously any outreach that they get from Pavilion, because it will always be from a verified public servant. Then you can always come here. If you haven't been here in a while, this might look a little different. We're going to ask for a little more information up front from you now to make sure that we can match you with the best contracts for what you're looking for. So I could look for, let's see, playground equipment. Maybe I have a little time, 1 to 6 months, let's say, but I know maybe it's often ASAP. Or if you're using Pavilion to just research who's out there, you're not planning a purchase imminently, you just wanted to get example scopes of work, for instance, then I might click I'm not planning to purchase. That'll just make sure we know when you need to get in touch with vendors or not. And then if you have any suppliers in mind, you can always tell us that. I could say I'm interested in Compan. If we don't have them, we'll show you other options that are similar to them. And now when I search, this should feel pretty familiar if you've used Pavilion before. We're showing you suppliers and the contracts that they have available for your location. I'll show you the different ways you can filter down this info. Since I said I was interested in Compan, that's who we're going to show you first, and you can see the contracts that they have available. And then I'll be able to see other suppliers who also have contracts available to me. I can quickly see, okay, I know Compan sells playground equipment. They have multiple contracts. I can see, Discount School Supplies also sells it. I could read more about them. And I can quickly, as I go, create a bit of a short list of suppliers that I'm interested in getting quotes from. As I do this, I'm adding them all up here to the side that way. And I can quickly email all of them in one go to get multiple quotes, easily compare side by side, make sure everybody has the same information so that I'm getting comparable quotes. I'm able to, I can even ask for suggestions of additional suppliers to include, can copy my colleagues, can upload attachments with my scope of work, site plan, things like that. And when I hit send, that's when our support team gets to work and making sure you get in touch by email with each supplier and the right person who can respond to your question so that you can get responses within just a couple days. As I mentioned, every contract we're going to show you to start is going to be active, contain language that allows you to piggyback on it, and matches your search in some way. We'll call that out, kind of what exactly we're matching on. And you can always click on it to view the details here. So this is where if you wanted to view the full documents, for instance, or see more information about who else was awarded on the contract, you can come directly to this page. We'll show you a little bit more about why this contract matched to your search. And then we have the full documents at the bottom of the screen. In this case, there were a ton of amendments. You can see them all right here. You can also see the bid solicitation documents, even the pricing document right here. And this is one where they give you the kind of list price discount. And so you're able to see all of these. You can download them. You can see the initial scope of work. You can share it with a friend if you wanted somebody else to take a look at it. And you can always email the contract admin if you have additional questions. You click this button, we put you in touch, same way as we put you in touch with suppliers, to make sure you get the answers you need to move forward quickly. Now, as I went through, you might have seen on the side, I have these kind of different links. These are past searches I have run. So now anytime that you are searching for something, maybe you create this short list, you can always go back to it in the future. If you are regularly, every year you need to look for something, you'll have a history of it right there. And right beneath that, we've got our kind of get help feature. This is that quick quotes thing that I mentioned, where you can just say, you know what, I'm short on time, or I'm having trouble finding suppliers. You click here and say, find me 3 qualified suppliers. We'll add in the information you already shared. And then if you have additional details you can share about what you need, you fill that in here. And when you hit submit, our team gets to work tracking down 3 suppliers that we can put you in touch with who can serve your need and have cooperative contracts. You can also always use this button to just get general Pavilion help if you're ever running into questions as you use the site. The last thing I'll show is kind of that all requests view. So this is where, I can see everything that I've worked on recently all in one place. I search for a lot of things, so I have a very long list. But I can also go over and see, as a procurement user, you can see all agency requests. This is where you get that visibility into what other folks might be searching from your team. We'll show you who is working on it. We'll say you can see if there's any suppliers that they have been investigating, kind of when they last worked on this. So you can get a little bit of a sense of what's coming down the pike as folks are going here. This is also where you can kind of jump in and help folks if they needed help tracking down other options. If you ever are in this case, we saw a lot of different results. We've got a bunch of helpful filters at the top of the screen that sometimes are easy to miss, so you can play around with them. A couple I'd call out for sure are the supplier location filter. You can say now sort by the distance from your zip code for different suppliers. So, I want to see somebody, I'm going to need maybe installation as part of this. I can say, show me only folks that are within 50 miles. And then we'll also try to show you folks down here that are close as well. You can sort by expiration date as well, filter for contracts that won't expire for a longer period of time. And then one that I would also call out, because I know it's always easier to move forward with the contract when you're able to view all the contract documents directly, you can always search and say, show me only contracts that have documents on the site already. If you don't, you can always find more options when you say show all contracts. That just means sometimes you're going to come across a contract record where you have to click a button to request that the contract admin sends you the documents before you can move forward. So if you're short on time, I'd recommend coming over here to find only contracts that have the documents ready to go. But if you are not seeing great results and you want to expand the pool of options, you can always say, show me all contracts, and then we'll help you get in touch if you need to move forward with a contract where the documents require a request. Okay, I've been speaking a lot. Andrew, I know you're a super user. Anything that I didn't show that I should have?
No, this is great. Yeah, we like you said, we we suggest Pavilion to a lot of our end users at the city just to go on and kind of look through contracts available. If you shortlist a group of contracts that you're interested in, is there any way to do a comparison of each one side by side? Like, because that is the biggest thing I've heard back is like we have all these contracts. We want this to be a more time efficient process than going out to bid.
Yeah.
How can we compare these contracts to each other quicker?
Yeah, that's a good point. Right now, the easiest thing, though, kind of is, well, since a lot of times the pricing is not called out super clearly from contract to contract, is why we often encourage folks to save the suppliers. We've confirmed they have a contract and to kind of get the emails out first so that you can get kind of the core info that you need around pricing and timing. It tends to be the kind of key things that we're hearing folks want to compare across. And oftentimes those aren't spelled out in the contract super clearly anyways. So this is where we're trying to make it a lot easier to just request that same thing from everybody. And then we're now helping folks track in one place who they've reached out to, when they were emailed. We're also working, soon you'll see some updates where we'll even show like this supplier responded, this one didn't. But all the responses will be in your email. And then in terms of comparison, I know this isn't as great, but folks can now at least add any information. All of these suppliers, like any quotes provided, you can centralize them now in this kind of documents view. And then this is where I could add different things so that I could have it all in one place. It's like, great, these are all the things I've collected about my search for playground equipment. And now I'm ready to proceed. But I agree. I think comparison shopping and getting even further down that road is definitely something that we're thinking about for the future.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions or tips from folks that have used Pavilion before?
This is Samia from the Burbank Airport. I have not used Pavilion before, but is there a way of entering the scope of work, for example, and then get a comparison as well?
Yes, absolutely. So when you email suppliers, we'll include this ability where you can upload an attachment, and that's where you would add your scope of work so you can just reference it directly in your message. You can add any details here too, but I think that's always the easiest way.
Thank you.
We also have some folks use that attachments button to add a template for the quotes if you want to make sure you're getting quotes in the same way every time. So some flexibility there depending on what resources you like to use. Great question. Any others? Great. Well, hearing none, I can let you all return to the rest of your meeting. But please do reach out. I'll put my email in the chat, and I know Andrew has it as well. You all should feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have any questions, or if you're interested in customizing Pavilion at all for your agency. I see Landon has joined. Landon has led a big effort to customize Pavilion for his team at SLO. So you can ask him all the hard questions later in the meeting.
Cool.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. And we do plan on doing a citywide training with you next month, which we're really excited about. So we want to do the whole customization for Thousand Oaks. And yeah, I appreciate you coming today. Thank you so much for presenting for us.
Of course. I appreciate you having me. Hope to talk to many of you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you everyone for jumping on. It seems we've got a pretty good group in attendance today. Also, I want to thank everyone for jumping on during your fiscal year end. I realize this is a tough time to kind of get away. So Yeah, I appreciate everyone joining today. Let me share my screen so I can pull our agenda up. Okay. Also, I just want to put out there this chapter I really feel is going to be kind of whatever we make it. So if you have any feedback in the structure, the way we do things, presenters, maybe different areas of focus we can do in these, I'm completely open to it, and I want to make this as collaborative as possible for everyone. Okay, so I want to first point out our CAPPO website. Grace has been kind enough to do some touch-ups to this. And let me just pull it up on my screen so everyone can see it. So we have a kind of nice introduction. We'll always have the virtual meeting link on here for everyone to access at any time. A little bit about our chapter leadership here. The tentative schedule for the upcoming chapter meetings for the rest of the calendar year is on here, as well as some upcoming events. We've included some links to some things we thought were very interesting. Some we're going to. CAPPO conference is on here. One I want to talk about are the in-person seminars. This public procurement essentials one seems like a good one for those of you who are familiar with Johnny Terry. He is teaching that one, and it's in Pasadena, I believe, on August 19th. So if you can get away, that might be a really good one to go to. I had him host a seminar, I think at CAPPO for the very first one I ever went to, very first seminar. He did buyer's basics, and very well. I mean, he's a retired public procurement official and full of knowledge. You'll often see him respond on the forums for CAPPO. So he's really great. NIGP forum coming up in July. Grace Ng, our vice chair, is actually presenting at this one. If anyone has the opportunity to go, I will not be able to go. Is anyone else going to NIGP forum this year? Yeah, it's a little bit far away. I believe it's in Denver, if I'm remembering right. But Grace is actually, her and Kim Sherman, another one of our team here at Thousand Oaks, are presenting on implementing an e-procurement system there. Grace went through the ringer here before I started implementing OpenGov for the city. She's very knowledgeable on what it takes to not only implement a completely new software, but also getting your end user buy-in kind of on board with that. So she's got a really great presentation geared up, and it's Taylor Swift themed. So that's very exciting. She showed it to me the other day. It's really good. I wish I could be there to watch that one. The SoCal Procurement Alliance quarterly meeting. Many of you probably know this group. They're based out of Orange County. They put on a really good event every year. They just hosted a supplier event that we actually went to in Anaheim, and we got to put up a booth completely free for us to do. We just had to kind of do all the work to set it up. It was very good group, though. I would definitely suggest looking out for what time it's going to be and where it's going to be. If you can attend and get away for the day, it's definitely worth it. Another one I wanted to point out, which is very new, and I think I brought it up at one of the last meetings. There is something called a NASPO Exchange conference that was held in Las Vegas this year. It's a very supplier-centric conference. Grace and I were able to go, and for the first time, NASPO is inviting cities and counties, and not just state procurement, but cities and counties, local government, to this convention, and it was completely free. I would check out the link. They paid for our registration, they paid for our hotel accommodations, and then we were reimbursed for our travel. It was quite a thing to go to. The catch is, again, it's supplier centric, so you are kind of being pitched to most of the time, which can be exhausting. We actually had to go through a series of one-on-one vendor 15-minute pitches, and it was like speed dating, because they do 15 minutes, they go back to their lines, they all have to line up again, and then they came back and did another round with other buyers. But a lot of people went. Orange County was there, a lot of folks. So if you want to know more about it, please always reach out. But I would keep an eye on that one and see if you can go. It is this year they are doing it in Florida at Disney World. So it's quite a thing, but free. So if you can sell it to management as a free opportunity for you to go to a conference, that's what we did. And I thought it was an overall net win of an experience for us. Let's see. We've got we put a few other resources on here. Pavilion, Procurement U. If anyone hasn't tried this out, I would definitely check out Procurement U by NASPO. Their trainings, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Grace, but you get contact hours for some of their trainings. Also, they're extremely well done. They're very engaging, and it's not just kind of sitting through a webinar. It's a little more work, but you get a lot more out of the procurement review trainings that I've seen than maybe some others from CAPPO and NIGP. Those are great too, but a lot of times they're hit and miss. I'm sure we all know. The UPPCC certification for CPPO and CPPB is right here, as well as the Procurement Excellent Network, which is a really good group. They're new to me. I'd never heard them except for this year. But they put out a lot of good content, and a lot of it's free. I would check them out as a resource. So let me share the agenda one more time. Okay, so we went over the website, some upcoming events, some resources for all of us. We are in the process of running an election for our secretary treasurer position. This will go out fairly soon. We're still kind of putting all the pieces together to put out the vote for everyone, but that'll be coming everyone's way very soon. We have 2 candidates, so hopefully we can get that spot filled. Right now, Maria is working as our interim, and she's been amazing, but she cannot take on the position officially. So we are looking for a new person to fill that role. And then I wanted to kind of get everyone's temperature for an idea we have about subcommittees. So I thought it'd really be nice if anyone is interested and has maybe particular skill sets in things like these. We wanted to see if anyone was interested in kind of running in an unofficial capacity. These committees are helping with them. And we put a few up here as some suggestions. We really want to put together some events that we can all either attend, or maybe some trainings that we can all do as a group to get some contact hours that we need under our belt. But if you're good at organizing and you'd want to try something like that, please reach out and let us know. Fundraising, we can always use some fundraising ideas. So if you have some good organizational skills there, that would really be great. Professional development is one that I think a lot of us are interested in. We put out a survey to the chapter members on what they like to see, and a lot of what came back was like training on all different sorts of things, but a committee to help facilitate those trainings, or maybe find folks to supply those trainings would be a great idea. And then anyone that has any kind of skill in graphics or putting things together, like flyers or anything, that would be a really helpful thing for us. So anything like this that sounds appealing to you, please reach out and let us know. We'd love for everyone to be involved as much as possible, and it would definitely help us out a lot. I think it would help kind of strengthen this group and what we can offer everyone. So let's move on to our open discussion. I will stop sharing. If anyone has any open solicitations they are going through right now they'd like to share with us, please do. I'd love to know more about kind of what's going on in your worlds and what you're trying to acquire. Tony, anything going on in your world over there?
Hey, Andrew. This is Patricia with the City of Oxnard.
Hi.
Hi. I'll go ahead and share what we have going on if anyone's interested. We have construction management and inspection services for the primary clarifiers. I believe that one is, let's see here, for the water department.
Mhm.
Oops. I just lost my screen. Here it is. So we have that one going on. We've always got engineering design services going on here. This one is for a new truck vehicle scale unit installation, I believe at ER or at our MRF. We have on-call maintenance and repair services for cogenerators and plant power backup generators. Again, engineering services for our City Hall Administration building for HVAC. We've had our HVAC unit out, or actually not out. It's being repaired because it's a really old system and they have to have it running all the time to keep our IT, the servers cool, and it's just freezing the whole building. It's everyone, every floor is just like freezing. So we're hoping to get that taken care of soon. We have on-call plumbing maintenance, inspection, and repair services. We have consulting services for police department facility assessment and usage feasibility study. On-call structural engineering design services. On-call elevator maintenance and repair services. And that is it for now, but we have a whole bunch going out.
Yeah, so those are all open for your team right now?
Right, they're out in the street, yes.
Oh, wow. It's a lot going on.
Yeah. I don't know if my team has any one particular that they want to share, but it seems like all our solicitations are, especially when their proposals are, well, and bids are interesting. You think that they're, oh, this one's easy. We've done this one before, and then it's like, well, wait a minute, they changed it up a bit. And
Yeah.
yeah. So anyhow.
Any particularly challenging ones you guys have gone through recently?
I think the only challenging ones that I can think of are on-call maintenance and repairs. Those used to be done through our public works department, and one of our new attorneys said, nope, those could be handled through purchasing. And so there's that fine line of, when you hear words like installation and whatnot, we're kind of pushing back, but they're saying, no, you guys, they could be handled here because they're minor well, not installations, but we just feel like those should be kept in Public Works.
Yeah.
So that's been challenging
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, I just had one in that realm, which was glazing repair and services, and it's for our windows on our buildings if they're broken, that it should be handled through public work, as a public project. And they said no, and we got no bids and rebid and still got no bids.
Oh, wow. So you're going to have to rebid it again?
No, they're free to negotiate with a qualified
They're just going to,
vendor.
yeah. All right. Anyone else? Any solicitation stories out there? All right. Well, if you, oh, go ahead, Erica. I saw you.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute.
That's
Not
okay.
necessarily solicitation stuff, but I'm on the CAPPO board. I'm one of the directors at large. And I just wanted, you shared some of my updates that I wanted to give you guys about the in-person seminars. But I also sit on the, sorry, I'm trying to share my video. I also sit on the education committee. And so we're looking for webinar ideas for the fall and for like February and March. So I'm reaching out to the different chapters to kind of see if you guys have any specific topics that maybe you guys haven't seen as part of our virtual webinars or in-person webinars. I want feedback from you guys as to what you guys want to see. You mentioned the procurement basics. Someone had reached out and asked for like a scope of work specification development, like in-person webinar, not just an hour overview. So we're working on that for like November. But if there's anything that you guys are interested in that you guys haven't seen, let me know. We
Okay.
also have like and I'll drop my email in the chat if you guys want to send me ideas later. So I'm helping the two director South, like Lisa and Mary, kind of coordinate what the South wants for in-person chapters. And I'm the one that's reaching out to the different agencies. If you guys want to host an event, let me know that as well. I'm the one that coordinated the Pasadena one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Johnny and Sheila. So, any ideas you guys have, just let me know. We also have scholarship deadlines coming up. This year, the Virginia Wright Scholarship, we got sponsored to be able to sponsor up to 6 additional scholarships for people to go to the conference. It's about $2,000 a person that covers conference registration, travel, and hotel. So last year we had trouble getting those 6, so apply. We're hoping we'll be able to get enough applications that people so we could cover the scholarships. Because last year, we were like, we only got 4, things like that. So we also, for people that are doing education stuff, we have a scholarship for up to $1,000 to get reimbursed for education expenses as well. And if the call for speakers already went out, but if you have people that need hours or that are interested in doing co-speaking with someone else because you guys want, that experience for a P award or you want something, let me know and I can kind of connect you with the person that's coordinating all of the conference speakers as well. So we're trying to give people opportunities to get comfortable with public speaking with your audience because we're all procurement professionals, right? And then lastly, we have I don't know if it's come out, but it may come out shortly, the elections. If anybody wants to join us on the board, we have 4 director positions open, 1 for the North, 1 for the South, and 2 for at-large positions. And then the executive office that's open is the secretary treasurer, which is a little bit more of a commitment because that's like a 5-year ladder. but it's available if you guys are interested.
That's
But
awesome.
primarily I logged in because I wanted to get webinar ideas from you guys or in-person seminar ideas for early, post conference, so we could keep the education going.
Okay, great. Patricia, I see your hand.
Sorry, I was on. I would like to see something like a seminar or webinar on prevailing wage, like labor compliance, what's considered prevailing wage. We struggle with that a lot, and we do have a labor compliance consultant, and sometimes we get conflicting information, but that's one of our struggles here.
Okay. We actually do have a call out to the state right now. So for that.
Good.
Oh, good.
We're hoping they call us back.
Well, actually we call like the DIR or state, and they can kind of tell us what, what's considered, but they can't confirm it. They said it's, some people say it's the construction companies that should know, and then they're leaning to us to say, well, what license is required. So yeah, it'd be great if we can get someone to put out a class for that.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I dropped my email in the chat, so if you guys think of something else after the call, I'm more than happy to take it back to the ed committee. And
sure. Johanna, I see your hand also.
Hi, yeah, sorry, and I'm new to the forum, so I appreciate actually I probably picked the right forum to be on because I was looking for the city of Simi Valley. We're getting ready to spearhead redoing, it's like a full revamp of our purchasing ordinance. And I would like to see some kind of educational forum of legal requirements versus policy practices and best practices, right? So what we can get an ordinance scripted up by an attorney, no problem. But really, as a procurement officer, what are some of the best practices and some of the safeguards that we should also be including in an ordinance? So something of that nature would be great. It's really hard to find those intricate details.
okay. Awesome.
Great. And Johanna, just to let you know, we are City of Thousand Oaks. We're right in the middle of updating our purchasing ordinance for the first time in a very long time. And so we're going through steps and also kind of figuring it out as we go. But I'd be happy to share with you kind of what we're doing. And we are also a general law city. So I think a lot of our steps may fall in line with each other.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it would also be good to have it separated between general law cities and charter cities, right?
Yeah, I heard it's
Okay.
a huge thing to consider.
Okay. Perfect.
Nicholas.
Yeah, hi. Since I have everyone here, not necessarily a webinar idea, but I do have a question I posted on the CAPPO discussion board as far as it pertains to contingencies and public projects. I just wanted to see if I could get feedback on how you all approach that. If anyone allows it, if you all don't, how'd you go about that? And if you do, like, what typically are the percentages you all kind of allow as far as a contingency for a public project?
I can take that if no one else
Sure.
wants to jump
Yeah,
in.
thank you.
We do allow contingencies for our construction projects depending on the dollar value. It could be anywhere between 10% to 20% of the construction value. And we include it in our agenda reports. It's not a part of the base bid. It's separated out as a separate recommendation so that if the council doesn't want to approve it, they don't have to. and the departments are not allowed to use the contingency until they process that construction change order and it's reviewed and documented. So they can't use the money until it's documented why or how they're going to be using the contingency. It's primarily right now we're including it at 20% primarily to cover, and we don't think that's going to cover the tariff increases. So we're using it to cover material costs primarily.
I see. To follow up on that too, because I noticed some departments like to try when it's a CIP or a public project to try to incorporate that contingency onto the rec as well, and it's kind of been a little like, do we allow it, do we not, and how we move forward with that. Any insight on how you all just kind of go forward with that? Do you allow the contingency to be listed onto the actual requisition prior? You know, most of the time the contract goes out, right? Or the agenda, and it has room for the contingency to be added, maybe approved by the city manager or so forth, or depending on how big it is. But I noticed that sometimes, and again, it gets a little weird. Just we see some already added on to like the requisitions as they are coming through. Do any of y'all have that same issue, or is it very clear cut, like that will only be added if the proper justification is provided?
The department does put in the requisition with the contingency. We make them set it up as a separate line. It does not make it to the final PO or contract. So if it's something that got approved by council, we have them put it in the requisition as a line 2 or line 3, and then it sits with us in purchasing. So the department is forced to come back to us if they want to use it because it's not in their final contract or PO. But we already have the rec approved, so we're able to process the change order a lot quicker because that approval the money was already approved and budgeted for.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that
Yeah.
actually helps a lot.
That
Yeah.
helps me a lot too. That's actually a really nice way of doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and trust me, the departments do not like it. They're not happy about it, but we had a couple of compliance issues in the past where they put it in their rec, we let them have it up front, and then we're getting audited for that construction contract, and then they never processed the actual change orders. So we spent up to, if it's an $800,000 project, we gave them the contingency, and then they never documented the change order. So because we've had those issues in the past, we don't just let them put it all in up front because they won't come back and give you the documentation, right? So yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, no, that really, really does help a lot.
Cool.
I
I
just
just
have
came to give CAPPO updates, but that's cool. I was able to help.
No, you're killing it.
Erica, do you guys what program do you guys? What's your ERP system?
OpenGov.
OpenGov. Okay.
Oh wait, ERP financials.
Yes.
Munis.
Munis. Oh, okay.
Yeah, procurement is OpenGov. Munis is we track our contracts, our POs, our recs, P cards. We just started payroll, HR payroll.
In Munis?
In Munis. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Because we do everything that you mentioned about contingency, we do it here. And it has to get, of course, approved, but we put it in the contracts and it's there, but they can't use it until, of course, like you said, they need, to justify why they need to use it.
Yeah, we don't put it in the contracts unless it's like a large dollar construction contract, but then in the system, the money is not in there. So that's what forces them to come back to us because we have to document that change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're used to it now, but at first the Public Works Engineering group and the construction group fought against it tooth and nail because we kind of took away their independence, they said.
Yeah.
So,
All right. We're at our hour. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, but the last thing on our list was any recruitments out there that anyone would like to throw out and talk about positions they're trying to get filled.
We just have our purchasing manager who her last day, I think I mentioned it in the last one, but her last day is the 19th next week.
Oh. Is the advertisement out yet for that?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So that hopefully is on a good path, going to be filled soon for you guys.
Hopefully, I believe the position actually closes on the 16th. So that's, yeah, around the corner.
All right.
We're hoping. Anybody interested?
All right. I think we will end it there. As always, please reach out to me, everyone, with any suggestions, notes. If you would like to participate in some of the subcommittees I mentioned, that would be really great. But definitely, I just want to leave everyone with, I want this to be a really a group that we look forward to engaging with, that we have some exciting things throughout the year that we can all participate in, that helps us grow as public procurement professionals. I know that I've found all of these kind of groups are really valuable for me. They've helped me in my career tremendously. So I hope they all do for you as well. And with that, I will say goodbye, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you. Great meeting, Andrew.
Thank you. Great meeting you all too.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
A good one.